All right, here we go. Let's knock this out. We get caught up here as we're gonna knock out week 8. Little recap as well. Week 8 Thursday night was Minnesota at Chargers. Like half the people played for Beating Golf, and Beating Golf got the win. So Beating Golf is gonna have some fire starters. Aronde Godson had 13 points for him. 77 yards and a touchdown. And Cameron Dicker had a big 15. So man, that kicker kicked up some coals. So Mr. Cameron Dicker is the week 8 fire starter. Moving on though, Kamani Vidal, also Full Mooney, also had a big game. 117 with a touchdown for 18 points. And the Sickos, who also got a win, had 14 points from Lad McConkey, 11 points in the Chargers defense. So again, some big fire stars for him as well. For our zeros for week number 8, we had 8 on 8. So it was kind of a rough week. Jared Judy for Joski, Jake Ferguson for Damas Llamas, Quentin Johnson for Beating Golf, Jordan Mason for Tarski, Andrew Osovich for K-Dogs Kids. Cincinnati defense actually had -3 versus the Jets of all teams for Dr. Miles Toboggan. And then Jameer Gibbs, who's the biggest zero for week 8 because he was on a bye. Ben just didn't get him switched out in time. And then Matthew Golden also had a 0 for the Mayflower. Again, I did not know this before, writing all this down. Adamas Llamas did get their first 0 with the Jake Ferguson. So now everybody has a 0 going on to the year. To be in fact, everyone except for Adama now has at least 2. And the leader at the moment, we have a bunch of 3s, a whole lot of 3s. Carlos has 6. Most of those are the Ravens defense, of course. Butarski has 5. Then Beating Golf and the Mayflower both have 4 going after week 8. For our heroes for week 8, Mahomes has kept it rolling. He got another 299, 3 touchdowns, 30 yards rushing for 24 points. And I got 12 points, or OGB Witch Doctor got 12 points from the backup tight end last week with Trey Brown on a bye. It has Harold Fanning, 62 yards and a touchdown to get the 89-51 win over Joski. Saquon Barkley had himself a day. He was feeling like it was last year for the first time this year. He had a really big game, really big long run for 150 yards and a touchdown and a receiving touchdown for 29 points to go along with 15 plus from all his wide receivers and Michael Pittman, Franklin, and Rashee Rice for Damas Llamas to take down Carlos 126-98. That's a 224-point combined score. That's a lot of points. All right, the other big eagle, Jalen Hurts, had himself 25 points for Beating Golf with 179 and 4 passing touchdowns to put up enough points with RJ Harvey's first big game of 22 points and the continued emergence of Aronde Godson from Thursday night with his 13 to beat Batgirl's Bag of Tricks 98-91. Jonathan Taylor, period. The dude has been insane. He put up another insane week, 35 points, 153 yards rushing, 2 touchdowns rushing, 21 yards receiving with another touchdown for, again, 35 points just from the one dude to lead K-Dogs Kids over Butarski 98-63. Again, he would have scored 53 points without the guy. Just insane. No, seriously, 63. Okay, fairness. Be fair. It would have been a tie game without Mr. Jonathan Taylor. But instead, she won by 35 points. When you win by 80 points, everybody usually has a good day. And that was the case for the Sickos this week, week 8, as everyone but his tight end had double digits. And he also had 2 22s in there with Chase Brown and CJ Stroud, and a big 33 points off of 216 yards rushing and 2 touchdowns from James Cook to beat Dr. Miles Toboggan 142-62. Woo, 80 points, baby. Then one of this week's Willie Beeman candidates, Kamani Vidal, had 18 points to go along with one of last year's Willie Beeman's, Terry Kraft, who had 143 yards receiving and 2 touchdowns for 26 points to lead Full Mooney over the Howard Maneuver 100-73. And why did I not write this down? The last matchup, we'll look at it right now. I don't know why I didn't write this down. The last matchup was The Mayflower versus King Rich is a 1-point game as the Mayflower won 90-89 over King Rich. The big one was, this year's one of the Willie Beemans, 89 over King Rich. The big one was, this year's one of the Willie Beemans from the earlier weeks, Drake May, 282 with 3 touchdowns passing, 50 yards rushing, 27 points. Devon Achane added 14. And his kicker, it was actually kind of a battle of a kicker, as King Rich had Boswell go for 20, while the Mayflower had 17 with Chase McLaughlin. I mean, honestly, dude, the Tampa Bay defense versus New Orleans put up 26 points. They gave King Rich a chance, but only getting 1 point from 2 of his receivers and only 3 points from Spencer Rattler at quarterback, as he got pulled early in the game, led him to lose by just 1 point. For this week, there's no shares, even in a 1-point loss. King Rich, my boy Aaron Tex, he had no choice. He was going to lose, so he lost by the 1 point. There's no Denny Green. No one came back on Monday night. There you go. So no Denny Greens this week. So all these is the Willie Beeman. For week 8, Willie Beeman, we have my Harold Fannin. This is 2 yards and a touchdown for 12. Troy Franklin for Damas Lamas, who had 89 yards and 2 touchdowns for 20 points. Jackson Dart, also for Damas Lamas, 193 and a passing touchdown and also a rushing touchdown for 18 points. RJ Harvey for Beating Golf, 46 yards with 2 touchdowns rushing and a receiving touchdown. Aranda Gadsden, 77 yards receiving a touchdown for Beating Golf. The Sickos, Khalil Shakir had 88 yards and a touchdown for 14 points for the Sickos. Kamani Vidal, 117 a touchdown and 10 yards receiving for 18 points for Full Mooney. And then Keyshawn Butte, who's actually had a really good year so far all year. 75 yards and a touchdown for 13 for King Rich. Man, it is tricky because, again, you have Butte, Vidal. I mean, when the other guy comes back for the Chargers, who knows what's going to happen there? I mean, I got to buy into the hype, man. I think Oronde Gadsden. We don't have a lot of good tight ends in the NFL half these times, at least fantasy-wise. So we're gonna hop on. We're gonna hop on this one. We're gonna hop on the hype train. Oronde Gadsden is the Week 8 Willie Beeman, and there you go. Week 9 is already up on the screen. We'll get to that one later. Take it easy.